Wow, that does a good job of mopping. Hello everyone, it's Just a Dad. Today I'm gonna do the first look, the first cleaning, and show you how to set up on the Ecovacs T80 robot vacuum cleaner. Now I did purchase this with my own money. I wasn't paid for this video. It retails for $1,000. Thankfully it's on sale for $549. That's what I paid for it. Now in this video, I'm gonna unbox it. I'm gonna show you how to set it up. We're gonna map our home. I'll show you the recommended settings, how to edit the map. Then we'll do the first cleaning over here in the world famous Just a Dad Corner cleaning studio area, and we'll do a carpet test. After that, I'm gonna take it to my home and use it for 3 months. After I use it for 3 months, I'm gonna give it my score. I'll give it my final score, cost per month. Then we'll give it a Just a Dad approved sticker, buy it now, wait for a deal, or if it'll be a skip it. It will not get the Just a Dad sticker seal of approval, but it will not get that until after 3 months of having it at my home. Now, if you purchase any of the products that I show you in this video or on my website, justadadapproved.com, I do use affiliate links. I am an affiliate with Amazon. If you click on the link, the product's not going to cost you anymore, but I do get a small commission from the sale. Be sure and check out my website, justadadapproved.com. That's where you can find all the robots that have already passed my 3-month at-home test. They're ones that I absolutely love, like the Mova P10 Pro. That's my last year's model. It's still a very good model right now, but there's a lot of new robots coming out. And the best place to find my robot picks are justadadapproved.com. So I just finished up with the T80 M14. This one reminds me a lot of the T80 M14. Ecovacs and T80 are the same company. I think T80 is just a subsidiary of Ecovacs or something. But anyway, let's get started. Here's everything that comes in the box. Okay, so let's put the robot together. Here's everything that comes in the box. You're gonna have to install the ramp. Make sure you put it in and it clicks into place. This is nice and flush. We got clean water tank, a dirty water tank. Here's our robot. We got to install a side brush. Make sure you find this. This was in the top of the top cardboard with a little blue sticky on it. There's the power cord. That's it. It does come with a paper manual that's got really good instructions. I do like that it comes with a manual. So this is a robot that's going to vacuum and mop your home at the same time. It's got a mop roller. It can extend it up to the side. It does have LiDAR navigation. It's down here underneath. That's going to spin. The LiDAR is going to come out the side. So let's take this off. This protects the bumper during shipping. Now the bumper's free to use. Now it has an optical avoidance sensor, some buttons, dustbin. So let's get started. I'm going to start at the base station and work over to the robot. Now, here's the dirty water tank. There was something rattling around in it, and it's the float. So we do have to install this float. It should have been installed, but on my unit it was not. I think there's these little hinge right here. Just pop it in, and it should hinge up and down like that. So now there is a float. This is the dirty water tank. The clean water tank is bigger. I like that. So we're going to fill this up with just clean water. You can add a little bit of floor cleaning solution to this. This does not have a solution tank, so you'll have to add it to the clean water every time. Now around back, it has a 3-prong cord, and there's a power switch. Make sure that switch is in the down or the line position. We're going to put the power cord in. Make sure it's flush. Power cord is kind of thick, and it is 3-prong. It's going to consume 12 amps whenever it's washing with hot water. 110 to 120 volts, 50 to 60 hertz. Here's the front of the base station. There is a status indicator light here. Grab this by the sides. This is the dust bag. So you'll have to change this every couple months. It's super easy to change. You're just going to slide a new one in there. That's going to kick on and empty out the robot. Make sure it's flush. There is no solution tank, and there's no provision to add one, even though there looks like there's kind of a slot there. And just make sure you snap that on. Down here, this is where it's going to wash the mop roller. Hot water is going to come down this little trough here. It's going to wash it. Then it's going to suck the water up into the dirty water tank. There is a dirt detection sensor. It's going to fill the water up with water right here, and it's going to blow hot air on the robot mop roller when it's done. I like that this has a tray. Now, it's a little tricky getting it past this tube. And there's where it auto empties the dustbin. But here, you can take this entire tray to the sink and get it all nice and clean. There is a little float here. That's a status indicator. And then that's going to lift, a rod that's going to push up and empty the dirty water tank. So this area does stay relatively clean. You just have to clean this tray. I do like trays. And then to put it back in, just put it back in and down. Front to back, about 18 inches or 46 centimeters. Left to right, 13 1/4 or 34 centimeters. Now, height-wise, you do have to be able to lift the tanks out. So you need about 26 inches or 67 centimeters, but it's only about 19.5 inches or 49 centimeters tall. Okay, up top here, the robot is 13.5 inches or 40, almost 35 centimeters. Height of the robot is, it says 3.9 inches, about 3 7/8. Let's do centimeters. That's about 9.9 centimeters. Up top, this is like a power button. It's going to start and stop the robot also. It's got a status light on it also. This is where you're going to turn the robot on. There is a power switch. So lift this up. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to turn this on. Then you're going to connect it to your smartphone. There's the Wi-Fi reset. Let's take a look. This, when it vacuums your house, this is the dust bin. So everything's going to go into this, and then it gets auto emptied out the side. There is a filter here. You are going to have to clean this filter about every couple weeks, actually. And it just pulls out this little filter here and this little screen. So these do need to be cleaned and replaced once in a while. It's like it all goes together relatively easy. Put this in. Now around back there is a dirty water tank. This is where it's going to fill the robot up with water. The robot has an internal water tank. Here's where it auto empties the dust bin, this little flapper right here. This is the dirty water tank. So there is a scraper that is going to scrape the water off of this mop roller. And this is the chamber that it scrapes. So right here, there's a scraper, and it's going to go into this little chamber here. Then it gets sucked up into the dirty water tank. And then when it comes back to the base station is going to push up on this little plunger, and that's going to empty out everything in here. So we will have to clean this once in a while. Now, pushing that up was really hard the first time, but after you do it once, it's pretty easy. There's a little filter in here you have to clean. There's a little float. This is very easy to clean. When you're done, you're going to put it back. The mop roller does come out. It needs to be powered on. You're going to double tap the power button, and then this mop roller will move out. And then there's a release button right here. So these are the drive wheels. Let's take a look at the single brush roller. Pinch these tabs. There is a comb here that's going to help get the long hairs off. I found that this type of brush roller does struggle a little bit since it is a single design with really long hairs. Okay, let's install the side. The side brush does not reach, does not lift up and down. It simply just spins. We do have a carpet sensor. It can lift the mop roller up and down 10 millimeters. When it senses carpet, it's going to lift this 10 millimeters. There's no cover that goes over it. So for really thick carpet, that could drag a wet mop on your carpet. These are cliff sensors, so it doesn't fall down your stairs. And this wheel just spins free. Okay, spec sheet real quick. And then this information will eventually show up on as like a baseball card for the Ecovacs T80. These are the specs. It's definitely not a $1,000 robot, but $549 seems okay right now. 18,000 pascals of suction, mop roller, side reach, lifts at 10 millimeters. Side brush is just basic. It doesn't lift it or corner reach. Main brush is single, but it does have a small comb. Onboard water tank, no video camera. Obstacle avoidance, I'm not sure how it's going to do yet. Threshold, 0.79 inches. It does have an LED light. It has AI dirt detect, which I've got a new series started where we check advertising versus reality. Can that thing actually see a spill and go and clean it? 3.8 inches tall. Yeah, it does matter capable right out of the box, they say. 167 degree hot water, 113 degrees air temperature. It does have a dirt detection sensor, which I love in the base. No solution tank, but it does have tray removal. So this thing I love is called a dirt detection sensor. So the robot's going to go mop a floor, come back. It's going to wash the mop roller. If that floor was dirtier than normal, this water will be dirtier than normal that comes off of it. So whenever it gets sucked up into the dirty water tank, it's going to pass through a dirt detection sensor. If it's dirtier than normal, the base station says, hey, wait a minute. Go back, remop that room you just came from. I love that feature. It's an automatic feature that kind of keeps your house clean. So if your house was unsuspectingly got dirty, the robot is going to know to go back and clean it a second time. I love that feature, but we will be testing it to make sure it works. Okay, you're going to fill the clean water tank up with just regular water. I add this Shark Vac Mop solution. You can find all of this on my website, justadadapproved.com, under care and maintenance. This is a brush from Walmart. This is the world famous Just a Dad cleaning brush, $5 from Walmart. I got a link to it on my website. Now the dirty water tank, every time you empty it, you're going to want to put an Effervescent tablet in there. That prevents the stink and odor. These things will really stink, and this is what works great for cleaning that. Okay, I've got the dock plugged in. The status light is on. It's just white. You're going to come over here. You're going to turn the robot on. That's a power switch. Then we're going to scan this code right here with our phone. Let's get the Ecovacs app. Those lights are pulsing and it makes a sound after about 10-15 seconds. Okay, you've got to get the Ecovacs app. You can operate several robots from it like I have, but then you're going to scan to connect. You have to give it access to your camera. Come up here, scan that code. Now it says, I've already powered it on, so click that and hit next. Now you're going to press this Wi-Fi button, just one tap.
Bluetooth hotspot has been released.
Hit done and hit next. Now it's pairing. Okay, so this tablet is going to connect to this robot. Select the Wi-Fi and then give it your Wi-Fi password. Then hit next. Okay, so it's the tablet telling the robot what Wi-Fi to go connect to. Then your tablet should reconnect to its own Wi-Fi.
Network connection successful.
Now we can go and charge it. And make sure you hear the word charging. The wheels are a little stiff, pushing it back.
Start charging.
That's what you want to hear. Okay, we're going to hit, I mean, you could have changed the name. I didn't change the name. And the first thing we're going to do is check for an update. And there is an update. I do recommend doing this. You can cancel it, but...
I'm here. Updating. Please do not power off.
So let it sit here, and then it usually doesn't take very long. Okay, that took about 10 minutes. Here we are. No, that's the T20. T80. All right, hit enter. Now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to map our home. We've already done the update check. If that pop-up didn't come, I do recommend hitting this, scrolling down to advanced settings, scroll down to about your robot and click update. I recommend turning that on and doing the update if there is one. So let's go back. You can always do that later. All right, let's map our home. We got 71%. Start mapping. So pick up your stuff around the house. It is better if you turn the lights on, leave the doors open, kind of put furniture where it is normally. Yeah. Now sit back. This is the funnest part. LiDAR navigation. You'll see your map. You'll see your map being developed in real time. It's just the coolest thing in the world. It's going to randomly go around your house. Okay, so that didn't take very long. We're going to hit next. This is kind of walk you through. All right, we don't want to do our first cleaning yet. So let's edit the map. Click the little map icon. Let's divide this room. Hit divide, then select the room. Then you got to move this around until you get it to where you want it. Then hit the check mark and it should divide it up into 2 different rooms. Let's name the areas. This is important I do recommend using these names, like if it is the kitchen or dining room, it's going to clean it differently, mainly with temperature. But I'm going to call this the corner test. And then let's select, now if you know that this room is all hardwood floor, so the carpet I'm going to save for later because I want this thing to do a couple cleanings. It's going to identify, see it's already starting to identify where some of the carpet is with these little squiggly lines. There's a whole bunch of carpet over here. It hasn't identified it yet because it needs to go back and forth and clean the entire area. So let's just do floor material. I know this is all hardwood floor, so click floor. And then the direction of the floor, click this little button right here. It goes that way. Hit confirm. I can combine rooms. I don't add the furniture. You can do that later. You can move the walls. Again, the carpet we save for later. You can add a threshold. This doesn't do a really tall threshold, but you can add a threshold. You can delete an area. And if you know of any no-go zones, you can add a no-go zone. You can add these later. And you can add a no mopping, or just the red means it's going to completely stay away from that area. I know that it'll struggle over here in this area. And you can use a linear. So take your time editing the map. You could have a lot more rooms than I've got. Now let's just walk through the settings real quick. That's your cleaning log. The first thing I tell you is put it on a schedule. Have it clean your entire home once a week. So set a time, hit repeat, pick the day you want it to do it. I'm going to do I like to put mine on a really aggressive schedule to see if it's going to work right away. Do the cleaning auto mode, and then you can select. Now there is a AI mode here, which is not showing up right now, but we'll see it a little bit later. Maintenance. This is going to tell you when it's time. Now that filter needs cleaned every 2 weeks, but it says it's good for 120 hours, but that's when you just need to replace it. Mop roller. Advanced settings. Okay, so there's going to be a lot of settings here. Sequence. I love sequence. You can select the order. When you tell it to clean your entire home, you can pick the order in which it does. That's important because say if you're getting ready in the morning and you want it to clean your house in the morning, you maybe stay away from the bedrooms until you're done, and then it works its way to the bedrooms as you finish up for the day. It's just really nice. Auto resume is on by default. That means it'll go back and charge and then start up again, but that could be 2 in the morning. So I do recommend turning do not disturb on. And you can select when it doesn't disturb. Clean along floor directions. Since I've got that hardwood floor selected, I'm going to pick that. Now carpet settings. Suction boost. I recommend having that. It's on by default, but whenever it senses carpet, it's going to ramp up the suction to the high, which can be annoying. But I do think these robots need that. But you can turn that off if it gets too annoying. This is a really good setting. Clean carpet first. That way, it'll go around and vacuum all your carpets without getting the mop roller wet. Then it'll go back and then it'll finish up vacuum and mopping, so that it's not dragging that wet mop roller over your carpet. I recommend turning that on. Carpet fine cleaning. That's if you want to deep clean your carpets every time. Carpet recognition standard, I recommend leaving in standard. Yeah. Okay, okay, so you can turn this on. This is AI intelligence hosting, means enable. It's going to basically figure out the rooms and how to clean them for you with the temperatures of the water and all of that. Intelligent deep cleaning, only effective when this hosting is on. So if you don't have the hosting on, this doesn't work. Automatically identify and avoid obstacles, standard, or you could put high sensitivity. I'll leave it on standard. Night vision, supplementary light that has an LED light in the front. True edge, adaptive mopping. It'll move the mop roller up against the wall. Protective navigation mode. Maintain a larger obstacle avoidance distance and smartly adjust the side brush power to better protect your pet from pets. So if you've got pets that leave an accident on the floor, I would recommend turning that on. Child lock. And then about your robot, you can change the name, the update, the Wi-Fi, and the square feet to meters right there. A lot of settings in that. Let's go to station settings. Auto empties on, I like that. Standard or high, I like high because it doesn't hurt to go back and auto empty more often. It might be a little noisy, but it's better to get that dustbin empty as much as possible. Dustbin collection power, the standard is quiet. I'm going to move that up to standard. That should be the default in my opinion. Forced operation without water. Do you want it to, if the water tanks are empty, do you want it to dry mop? I leave that off. Intelligent temp. Now, how it washes the mop rollers, do you want it to figure out based on room type, or do you want to select how it's going to wash the mop roller each time? If you want to save water, eco, standard, or deep, it's going to use more water. I'll leave it in auto. Mop wash frequency, smart, by room or by time. It's going to use more water if you've got a bunch of rooms and you tell it by room. But if you don't want the bathroom water to be mixed in with the kitchen water, that might be smart. And by time, 10, 15, or 20. If you've got it on every 10 minutes, it's going to use a lot of water. So I'll just leave it on smart wash. Hot air drying, 2, 3, or 4 hours. I leave it on 2 hours. Off-peak charging and about station. Language, English, and you can do the volume. This thing talks to you a lot. So, video manager settings. Okay, this does have a camera. They did not advertise that very much. Hold the start button for 3 seconds. Now, enter the password. This is not a password that's already made. You've got to make one up, and then you'll enter it every time you want to look at the camera. Okay, I didn't know that. Map settings. You can do multi-floor mapping, and you can edit the map. It does connect to Matter. I will check that later. It's pretty simple. It just gives you the code, but you got to have an Apple home device. Help, lab features. I'll eventually turn these on. I leave them off for now for a couple cleanings. Product improvement program. I don't mess with that. They're going to send a bunch of information up to them. Device relocation. Find my robot. You can tell it to release and retract the mop roller, share, and delete the robot. Now here is the home page. It does have camera. I didn't know this. They did not advertise that very much. Okay, so since we've enabled intelligent hosting, that's like it's artificial intelligence. You can swipe up. Yeah, anytime you do that, so anytime the whole, see, this is just a little tricky how this is. So when you first open the app, the whole house is selected. So if I hit start, it's going to clean the whole house in the order I selected. Now, if I come up here and hit this, now it goes into a room mode. Now I can go up. I lose my artificial intelligence mode, but I can select vacuum only, vacuum and mop, mop after vacuum, 4 levels of suction, and then I got a slider scale for the water level. Really high or really low. No, yeah, it goes really low. 3 patterns, standard, deep clean, or quick, 1 or 2 passes. And so I can also do, it can do a zone. So click this, and now I got a little box. I can tell it how I want to, and I can select. Oh yeah. I can't have it inside a no-go zone. And I can add another one. And then I can have it, I could tell it how I want to clean those. But let's go back. So now the whole house is selected, and so if you don't want to use that intelligent hosting, you got to disable it in there for the whole home. It's a little tricky. I wish it wasn't a setting that you had to go in and turn off. I wish you could just pick artificial intelligence or custom. Now here's different station settings. You can tell it to empty the dustbin, wash the mop, or dry and start and stop drying the mop. That's features that are good if you do multi-floor, because you've got to manually start and stop the wash and all that. So, okay, let's do a floor mopping event. Okay, for this first cleaning, we're going to do corner clean test. We're going to do a single room. I'm not going to use the AI. I'm going to do vacuum and mop. I'll do strong water level. I do want kind of high. And I'm going to do deep cleaning and 2 passes. Now, since this is the first cleaning, I'm going to hit the start button here in a second. Now, on my T80 M14, which is almost identical to this, I had a problem with the water not getting sucked up out of the clean water tank. I have a fix for that. What happened is during the first cleaning of the T80 14, I thought everything was working. It sounded different. It went over and it did that, clean the room, but the mop roller was dry. So it never filled the robot up with water. And I attribute that to, I've seen this on other robots. Dreamy, for example, has had this. It needs primed. So what you do is you take a syringe and you push water down this clean water line. It's just having a hard time sucking it up. I don't know if that's going to happen. I just want to let you know we're going to hit it. We're going to see. And I do have a fix for it if it doesn't work. Okay, let's hit the clean button.
Start vacuuming while mopping. D-bed is refilling water for the mop now.
It doesn't sound like the water pump's working. But we'll see. I don't know for sure. So the first thing it's doing is filling the robot's internal water tank up with water. Then it's going to wash the mop roller, and then it's going to go over and clean that area. Now I see the mop roller is spinning. You know, I don't see any water down there. The Yeti M14 had a tag on Amazon saying it was a high return item. And that might be why this water pump issue. It is fixable. And I did fix the Yeti 14 and it's been working fine ever since. I mean, I agree they shouldn't fail like this out of the box. But I have had a Dreamy, I think it was an L10S heat. It had the same issue where the water pump just needed primed. And I've seen this in spot cleaners and things. Once you prime them, they usually work for a while. That's the sound you want to hear. I think that's the water pump working now. Okay, I'm gonna change this up a little bit. I think for these, let's go to station, hit stop, do a mop wash.
Let's start washing the roller mop with hot
This isn't gonna tell the robot to go clean, but it's gonna kind of maybe kickstart. That's what you want to hear, which we did not hear when we did the first cleaning. I think the water pump is working now. Yeah, and I hear that. That sounds like a water pump. And also, there's the mop roller. I don't know if it's getting water on it yet or not. It sounds like it's working, but it still may not be. There, we have water. Okay. So the water pump is working. There's just something about that first cleaning and telling the robot, yeah, and I can hear it sucking up dirty water. We may still get a dry mopping event. And like I said, you're going to force water down that clean water tube. And then you force water in the back of the robot where the little hole is. I've got a syringe and you just push water into the robot until it comes out. And then you push water down there, down that pipe. It's a mess. It's a messy job. Yeah, things sound like they're working now. So I'm going to recommend before you start a cleaning, do a mop washing event. And that's it. Just go to station, hit mop washing. I would try that a couple times, you know, just to kind of get this system activated. And if you have to prime it, then put water in it, then just do a station event. Okay, so this kind of verifies the pump is working now. We do have water. There's my my denture cleaning tablet. That's going to prevent odor. So the water pump is working. Again, if it doesn't, just take a syringe or take a spray bottle, force water down this line. And that kind of puts water around the water pump, and then it kind of activates it. Okay, so now let's do the corner clean. Vacuum and mop, yep. Deep, 2 passes, yep. Now hit start. Now, it is smart enough to know that it says the wetness level looks good. So it just washed the mop roller. It doesn't have to go do it, so. Okay, we're gonna see how the Ecovacs T80 cleans up this big mess. It just traveled to the room. It did avoid that cable. So it was kind of traveling straight forward. It stopped, and now it's going to avoid that cable. But we got some muddy paw prints, a bunch of long hair, a bunch of debris in the corner, and a sock. And even a piece of furniture. We'll see if it goes under. So it is staying well away from that cable. It did kind of go right up to it and then just stopped. All right, here we go. It's vacuuming and mopping. Not too bad along the wall. We'll examine it closer here in a second. It's going to do the perimeter of the room first. That piece of furniture is 4 inches tall, so it is going under the furniture, and it's going under it all the way. That's good. Now it still knows that cable's there. Now we don't get a picture or anything of the obstacle, but it is going around it. That was really good obstacle avoidance. That cable can be really hard to identify because it's low to the ground. It is leading down some water. So now it's going to go back and forth in the nice straight lines. And I did tell it what direction my hardwood floor was in, and it will clean in that direction if you tell it to. Now, I did turn the suction power down to quiet. It's pretty much got most of it vacuumed up. It's mainly going to be mopping now. I think it's identifying that sock. Again, that's another obstacle that's hard to identify. It's low to the ground. The LiDAR may or may not have picked it up. You're really relying on that front sensor to pick it up. Looks like it did identify it as an obstacle. What it's doing, it's cleaning this little area right here between the obstacle and there. I'll pick back up when it's over here. All right, that's doing a good job of mopping. Wow, that does a good job of mopping. That's some of the crumbs from before. There's the corner. It didn't quite get everything out of the corner. But where the mud is really clean. It got the long hair. It avoided the two obstacles. I think they're onto something here. If this thing had a corner reach, it would be pretty amazing, because right now I'm loving it. Now we're going to flip it over. We'll check for long hair wrap. We don't get any kind of obstacle notification, but we see the circles. We just don't see. And I do have it on 2 passes. And I'm not sure. I think the second pass might be in the same direction of the floor tile. Now, when it does go the opposite direction, you will hear it kind of scraping a little bit. It says it's pushing that mop roller down. They don't tell us how many newtons. It just says like 6x, whatever that 6x is of, we don't know. Navigation seems smooth, seems organized, doesn't feel lost. I think this is the second cleaning. It just does a tighter pattern. We don't get the crisscross pattern. I've got the T80 M14 in my house. It does not have a camera. It's doing okay. It's kind of loud. I'm using it in the artificial intelligence mode, and it's just noisier, which I'm so used to robots that aren't noisy that it kind of stands out. This one's not noisy because I got the suction power. Yeah, the minute you go up to strong, it gets kind of annoying. But if it could stay in standard, there's no difference between standard and quiet. There's no difference, but when you go up to max, now this is almost on the highest water setting. Let's go up even higher. I don't see any drips. I don't see any kind of the floor looks in really good shape, really good shape. Other than obvious corner. I would like for it to do the second pass to do the perimeter of the room again, but it doesn't. The second pass is the same direction as the first one. Did see a little bit of, sometimes when robots turn, they can leave. It is leaving some streaks when it's, well, I did turn the water up. That might, let's turn that water down. And it says, be careful with high water. So when I turned it up, I was getting kind of that leakage whenever it turns. Now, before I take it to my home, I will be doing the advertisement versus reality, and Ecovacs has some pretty compelling ads. I mean, I'm definitely going to try it, like 2 or 3. They've got it showing big messes, which it might do. We'll see. It's a whole new series I've started. I'm up to about my 10th robot, advertising what they show in their ad versus reality. I try to simulate it as best I can, and I just show you the real world results. Granted, that's not always how it's going to clean. You know, you're not always going to have a big ketchup mess on your floor. And it got too close to it traveling home. So it says it's all done. I don't think the dirt detection event's going to work. I would love for it to work, but it probably only works in AI mode, which they don't tell us a lot about this. I would love to have a complete spec sheet on these robots. I just have to deal with what I see in the advertisement. It's hard to find information on these, so I would love for it to clean that mop roller, suck the water up into the dirty water tank, and if it's dirtier than normal, go back and, which I would think it would be, go back and remop that room. But that may only work in the artificial intelligence mode.
About to start auto empty. Let's start washing the roller mop with hot water.
Yeah, in general, the thing's a little noisy. I mean, the auto empty is a little noisier than others. The water pump, the washing of them, it's just a little noisier. Even the robot itself is just a little noisier. I mean, I'm used to like a Mova V50, which is only like $200 or $300 more expensive. It's super quiet. Yeah, that water pump.
Starting hot air drying.
The fan's not super loud. Okay, so we didn't get a remopping event, which I didn't think we would. Task. There's the room. You don't really get much information. Maybe you get a dirt map if you're in AI mode or something, but there's the cleaning pattern, which is really tight. All right, let's check. Emptied. There's a little bit of debris. I don't like that when there's a little bit of debris on that right there. No long hair wrap. That's good. We've got a big test coming up for that, though. Oh, yeah, dirty water tank. There. Not too bad. Now, I recommend leaving this sticker on because it's double tap the power button.
Roller mop is released.
You don't have to do this very often, but I'm just showing you. There's a release button right here.
Roller mop removed.
Yeah, the mop roller is hot, or not hot, but it's warm. So it's definitely washing with warm water. The scraper, I mean, that thing might have a little water in it. When I turned it upside down, there's the scraper. Everything looks in relatively good shape. This is good. That wasn't a super big mess, but everything looks in good shape. Let's push this in.
Roller mop installed.
Do you double tap that again? Yep. Let's take a look at the dirty water tank. It's hard to open. It's hard to open. A little bit of water in there, but it did get all the dirty water out, so that's good. Tray. A little bit of water. We should get a little bit more of the water out, but that should dry. It's a little hard to put the tray in and out. I wish it was a little easier. That black tube, I feel like I'm going to break it. There. Okay, let's see how the Ecovacs T80 vacuums up this big mess. It's going to do the perimeter of the room first, and then it's going to come back and forth in the nice straight lines. Now we got a bunch of kitty litter, confetti, some really long hairs, some ground coffee, and also some like cotton, or some really like cotton that's on into the carpet fibers. Wow, it did a really good job of vacuuming so far. I do have it on deep cleaning, and it's going to do 2 passes. I do have it on its highest suction power possible. Earlier it saw me standing there, and now it's trying to go around that, so I got to kind of stay away from it. That's kitty litter. That's really hard to get up. Here's some ground coffee. It left a little bit of the kitty litter, but it is going to do 2 passes. Well, on the second pass, it did get it. Huh. It's doing a really good job of vacuuming. Okay, that is doing an excellent job of vacuuming. It has a really tight pattern. So the first pass, now when it turns and goes this way, it doesn't go like over a bunch. It just goes over a little bit. I've got it on deep clean. Now the auto empty system, the Yeti M14 had a problem emptying out a big mess like this, so we'll see. But so far, this thing's incredible. I mean, that's how I want a vacuum to work. There's quiet. Quiet is really quiet. Now, what I do notice, there's not much difference between, there's standard. That's not too annoying. Standard and strong, I don't notice any difference. But boy, when you go up to max. But I do think robots need to be on max to do a good job of vacuuming carpet. We would love, I would love for it to clean carpet in quiet mode, but they just don't have much suction. At first I was thinking they did, and I kind of recommended not running because they were just so annoying. When you're at your home and it's on max, it's like, oh, that thing's, if you're around it, you don't want to be around it. But I do think it's important to have it on max suction. So that floor is relatively clean. It saw my foot right there, so it kind of avoided that. But it's got a nice straight pattern. There's a little giddy up in it, not too bad at all. I mean, I've seen some that are the Dreamy Gen 2. It's got a really big giddy up in it. I did a custom zone clean. Now, I think on carpet, it will do the crisscross pattern for the second cleaning. Yeah, I've got it on deep clean and 2 passes. Oh, it's going back and getting that little area that it circled last. That's kind of nice. Now, if you miss the obstacle avoidance in the mopping, it's got really good obstacle avoidance. It saw a cable and a sock. Okay, looks like we are going to get the crisscross pattern. It's kind of acting lost now. It's just been kind of going over this area a lot in a really random pattern, but Hopefully it should settle down and start going in a crisscross pattern. All right, looks like we're getting the crisscross pattern now. It must have saw me standing there and didn't like it, because it's kind of just avoiding that. Yeah, I'm not even sure this room needs, it got all the long hairs. This room's pretty clean. Yeah, it settled down and started going in a straight line again. All right, let's just tell it to. All right, this will be a key for the auto empty system. I'll know right away if it doesn't work. It sucks in the lid. This will suck in if it's got a jam. Okay, it is leaving some crumbs. I don't like that. I'll explain what that is.
Start charging. About to start auto empty.
That sounds like a good auto empty. The Yeti M14 had a clog. All right, so let's dustbin. Okay, we got a complete auto empty. That's good. It's not the biggest dustbin. It's the same as the Yeti M14, and I did get a clog. That is stuff being stuck when it changes direction. Good robots don't do that. When they come back to the dock and then turn and go in, they don't leave crumbs. Now this is a problem. I know Ecovacs really claims this is zero hair tangle. Now this was a pretty big mess, but the brush roller is working as designed. It's fluted so that if a long hair gets here, it's directed to the middle, and that's where the comb is. It's just not a very good comb, I guess. So it does need better hair tangle management. I mean, you just cut it off, but that's going to be a problem. And that's kind of a double-edged sword, because it directs it to the middle. That's right where the suction is. So if you get a bunch of hair in there, that's also going to affect its suction. So I don't like the design. I think for hair, there's better designs. There's a split right there. Roborock has a brush here and a brush here, and that's split. They still get clogs too, but they do a lot better job. And then Mova and Dreamy have a tri-cut brush. And then they've got a dual brush. They all have little quirks, but that, I think, is an old design. This seems like it could be an excellent robot, but it's gonna have a place, just not for homes with hair or long hair or pets, probably. Okay, we can update. It does have a video camera. Obstacle avoidance, I gotta do more testing, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be amazing. I'm gonna put long hair as a problem already. Again, Ecovacs T80, 1000, right now it is on sale for $549. That's not too bad. That's what I paid. 18,000 pascals of suction. It is a good vacuum. Mop roller, it's just basic. Doesn't reach into the corner. Single, but there is a place if you don't have pets or long hair. Water tank on board, video camera, obstacle avoidance really good. LED light, threshold, we got to check that yet. AI sensor for dirt, that'll be in my series, advertising versus reality. I'll check it against its ad. Hot water, hot air, dirt detect. It probably only works in AI. Solution tank, no. Tray removal, yes. So again, check out my website. That's going to be the best place, justadadapproved.com. This is going to go to my house. I think there is a place for it. I'll do a little bit more testing here at the studio, but then it goes to my house. I do have a pet. Typically, she does shed a lot, but it's not like 3 huskies. There's not a robot that will vacuum a house with 3 huskies. Here's a mess. So again, thanks everybody for watching. justadadapproved.com. I'm going to get more Ecovacs robots. This is kind of surprising. I've been super hard on Ecovacs. X9, the X8, I did not like. Maybe they've had those were last year's robots. I sent them back. I didn't like them. I gave them like 6 months. Maybe there's been an update by now, I don't know. But these aren't too bad out of the box, other than that water thing, but I'm not holding it against it too bad. I did have to prime the water pump a little bit. I've seen that on Dreamy. I don't think it's widespread, but it did happen on the Ecovacs and the M14. So again, justadadapproved.com. Again, check out my new series, Advertising versus Reality. And then I also take these to my 3 months, take it to my house for 3 months. I'll compare that to the Yeti M14. That's going to be a really close call. Yeti seems to be battery life is maybe they're kind of saving money with their batteries or something. It just off the top of my head. But then again, justadadapproved.com. If you could, please like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.